ask you your opinions about youth's behavior, specifically FEU Tech students' behaviors towards the elderly or aged.
Okay.
First, what can you say about the modern youth's behavior towards the elderly or aged?
Well, if they have been traditionally oriented on how to respect the elders, then it's very easy for them to practice that. Even if at home they have been trained to follow the traditional point po, pagmamano, tamang pagsagot sa mas nakakatanda, these Filipino values, if they have been taught at home by their parents, ideally by their parents, by their immediate family members, then it becomes easy for them to respect others outside their homes. Becomes therefore a value. It's actually a value. Now, for those who have not been exposed to this traditional, we call it traditional because we practice this way before, and some youth have other modern versions of showing their respect also. They kiss, they hug, they send messages of love to their elders. We're not saying that they are not respectful. There's just a newer version to that. So it's a way of looking at the traditional or modern way of respecting the elders.
For our next question po, how do you define respect?
Respect is it's really more of showing your honor or a sense of how do you call this? Parang a sense of allegiance. You will follow them, you adore them. That's a form of adoration. There is honor. That is respecting someone. You have to show that there is a belief in what this person is saying. So that's why they say that respect is earned, because it can't be freely given, especially if you can't model to the youth that you should be respected. That's why it's called it's earned. It's not, it can't be forcefully asked for. Na respetuhin mo ako kung hindi ka na talaga respeto. And there are a lot of levels of respect. You can respect them a little, you can respect them a lot, or there's no respect at all. And in terms of the definition of respect, it also varies from person to person.
Ma'am, by honoring people, you are setting a standard of respect. Do you think that the standard of respect can be enriched through family bonding?
Okay. The term enrichment means that there is already something that has been established before.
Yes.
Bonding is a form of enrichment, that's correct. But you can't deal with fundamental problems or concerns in the family just by simply bonding. There really has to be an intervention if there's really a problem or in the family. If there is a problem in the dynamics of the family, it can't be solved just by bonding. Bonding is an activity whereby you just simply enjoy each other's company. Given that there's already something that has been established, trust, love, acceptance in the family, meron na nun, it should be present already. But bonding cannot solve basic concerns in the family, such as lack of respect, lack of acceptance, absence of love. This cannot be corrected by simply bonding. So that's, I think.
Can you say that there is really a great difference between the standard of respect towards the old people before compared to our present time?
Yes. Yes. And we don't blame the youth for that. I believe we should not blame the youth for having a different form of respect. But the thing is, if it is still a form of respect, then be it. Because there's an evolution in mankind. You can compare You can't compare the form of respect nung nakaparot saya pa at sasabihin mo na mas ka-respeto yun kaysa yung paghalik mo sa magulang mo na talaga namang nararamdaman mo, I love you, mama. I mean, sa tingin ko lang, nag-evolve kasi, nagbabago ang society, nagbabago din ang mga pamilya at pag-show natin na nararamdaman natin. Forms of expressions also evolve. Because human behavior evolves, and sometimes we do not blame people from doing that because we are influenced by a lot of factors. The thing is, if it's genuine, if it's a real expression of respect and love coming from the giver, then I consider it as such. It's still respect, no matter what the form or medium of expression. It's still a form of respect. Ang tanong lang is, nire-respeto nga ba niya talaga? Kasi pwede mo naman halikan na isang tao pero hindi mo nire-respeto. Pag talikod niya, gusto mo sampalin. Diba? So, nandun lang sa talagang totoo nga ba na nire-respeto mo. Pero yung paraan ng pagrespeto, asahan mo mag-iiba. In 10 years to 20 years from now, when you reach my age, and you will have children of your own, and then same question will be posed on you, are they more respectful or not? I think that's not the question. Does it vary? Do we have other forms of showing our respect already? Yeah? Some things we cannot control. Some things we can control. But we don't blame the youth for having changed mindset. But the thing is it better, ma'am, to still follow the traditional approach of respect? Yes, it is really something more heartfelt, I believe so. Yung pagmamahal na talagang feel na feel mo, respeto talaga yon. But it doesn't mean that the way we respect nowadays is lesser compared to that. You know, it's also the attitude of the receiver of that's the form of respect. I've taught for let's say 2 decades already. I have compared my students before and the students now. Yeah, you just express yourselves differently, but I still feel the same love from my students. That's how I take it. And even myself, I evolve. I mean, diba? We evolve. And I have no resistance to it. I'm not looking for things that are no longer present in my needs. I don't force myself to look at things which are no longer there.
Apparently impressed with your questions, ma'am. How does your career background influence your answers to our questions?
I have been a faculty. I have always taught. That's my first job, to really teach. And then, I was able to reach this position without aspiring for it aggressively. I never had an aggressive aspiration. Then, kwento ko sa klase nyo yan, di ba? I just flowed and then landed in these positions. Maybe because also of the opportunity that's there and maybe my preparation, ganyan. But my background is really more in teaching, in leadership work, in training people, in writing, program writing of interventions, and of course, I'm a professional counselor. So, with this background, I believe that I had a hands-on experience dealing with the youth, really, making programs for the youth, dealing with you in the classroom. And I can always say that I have really enjoyed teaching more than anything else. Even though it is challenging and hard, teaching is, and I would say that I would still go back to teaching. And I would always say that it's the most fulfilling work to do. So it has influenced me. If did I answer you? Yun, hands-on experience ko talaga with my students. I am an administrator still with students. I mean, student affairs pa rin siya. Hindi ako nawala sa ng mga estudyante talaga. Ito lang, nasa leadership position na ako. Pero iba't ibang klaseng concerns ng mga students. So, siguro, if I think that would build enough credibility in saying that I've been with students all my life. And I never had, pero siguro, isolated cases lang yung talaga may napagalitan or kailangan pagalitan. But all my life, I've always loved students. Siguro kaya din ako dinala sa ganitong trabaho. Kasi I really have that fondness for students and the learning process. Mahal ko ang estudyante. Alam niyo yan, di ba? Yung siguro.
Do you believe that respect should start within oneself first?
In terms of respect, yes, before you are able to give respect to others, you should really respect yourself. But for me, respect is learned. Before you can respect yourself, you should have learned to respect yourself by how your immediate family members and the people around you during your earlier years treat you as a human being. I think it really affects you one way or the other, the way you also value yourself. But as you grow old, you can actually change that. If if you have not been respected, you have not felt that you were valued as a child, then di ba you experience parang na ano ka, yung mababa ang ano mo sa sarili mo, yung tiwala mo sa sarili mo. But given these things, you can change that. That's my belief. But it is learned, it is felt. Others should show you that you should be respected, that you should be valued also. When a child feels that he is valued and respected, he feels that, yeah, I feel competent, and therefore I can also respect others. But respect is learned through modeling, through relationships in the family. So that's the value of the development of a child, the early development of a child. But this is not to say that when you are old, you cannot learn how to respect. In fact, you should really respect yourself. Make it a command.
How does respect affect the behavior of an individual?
Respecting others is also like respecting yourself along the way. It's just an extension of yourself when you try to respect others. It's an extension of who you are. So, you feel good along the way. Whatever you give to other people, it mirrors who you are as a person. If you treat others with respect, along the way, you are respecting yourself. Even your choice of words to other people. Kung bastos ka sa ibang tao, hindi ganun ka rin kasi sa sarili mo. People who hurt others are hurting inside. People who can love others, who are capable of respecting others, feel respected, a certain degree of respect in themselves. And people who give too much of themselves, who are generous in every way to other people, have a lot of it in themselves. And they have no other choice because they're spillover already. Sobra ka rin, kaya wala kang choice kundi ibigay yun sa ibang tao. So madaling magrespeto sa tao, nararamdaman niya yung respeto sa sarili niya kasi nararespeto rin siya. Initially ng magulang niya, mga kapatid niya, o kung sino man. Kailangan may nararamdaman siyang respeto. It's liberating. It's valuing. Masarap ang pakiramdam ng magrespeto ka sa iba.
Can you describe what the virtue of respect implemented to you by your parents?
If you're going to ask me that question 20 years ago, I would answer differently. But now, at this age, I'd like to believe that I'm more mature now than before. Madami na ako napagdaanan. So kung ngayon ko sasagutin yan, I would say that respect was shown to me when they never taught me how to make my assignments. When they did not help me when I would complain that I do not know how to do things. Before, I do not like that. Hindi ako love. Kasi hindi ako tinutulungan. But it is actually a form of respect on their part. Respect for my own ability to do things. Because because my mother was a public school teacher. She was a teacher in the classroom, but she was not a teacher to us, her children. She will not teach us at home. At first, I detest that. But as I grew up and had children of my own, I realized the importance of that. That it's actually respecting your own capability, that you can do that. You can do things. Because with that kind of discipline, I was able to help myself. I learned to empower myself, tutulungan ko ang sarili ko. I think that's a form of respect. That's one form of respect.
How do you think the culture affect the way people treat each other?
Medium of expression for respect is culturally dictated. Like pagmamano, etc. In our Western counterparts, they do it differently. But somehow, due to yun nga, evolution, changes in our environment, Yun. However, there are still unique ways of showing respect in our culture. Such as sometimes, you have to keep quiet when they are, yung mga ganun, very salient way of showing respect. Ewan ko ngayon kung ino-observe pa, pero kung nakikita ko pa rin yun, pag may matatanda, yung medyo yuyuko kapag dadaan ka, meron pa bang ganun? Nakakita pa rin kasi ako ng mga ganun. Those are just unique ways. But if that is the question, yes, the answer is yes. Kasi it's a part of culture showing of respect. But it doesn't mean that that is the right thing, this is the wrong thing to show respect. We just do it differently.
Ma'am, for our last question po, why is respect important?
That's a very hard question. Okay, human beings are highly relational by nature. We relate to people. And respect is one way of relating to other people very well. For you to actually exist in this world, for you to really live your life, that is a necessity. How to effectively relate. And respect is one way of relating. But respect can never be bought from a store. It should be developed inside you. You should really learn how to respect. So it's really more of that. Because we need to relate with other people. And we need to relate to ourselves. That's why respect is important. But if we do not relate to other people, if we just exist on our own, then no respect is required. You can just simply stay in one room and then die inside the room. You were, you know of the feral children, yung mga nahiwalay sa society. You read about feral children. You don't need to demand any form of respect from anyone because you just simply exist alone. But if you coexist with other people, there is no way but to learn how to respect other people. Because you are a human being.
Thank you, ma'am.